All right, we're going to see if we get YouTube to stop hating tonight. When we back, we're going to see if this lasts for long, right? Well, and they sent out a notification this time. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. They done sent out a notification. We're going to see if they'll act right this time. I know they did last time, so maybe that was part of it. They've been acting stupid from the beginning. We back, right? I had to wait till the other video ended. It just kept rolling in this cycle. They just kicked me out. They ain't like me talking about folks, I guess. So we back. Let me see. Some folks was asking me, they were asking me as far as my page. So if you put in Mechee X for YouTube, it's going to bring up all of my different videos that are on all the different channels that people have put them on or wherever they are. So if you put in Mechee X's channel, put in Mechee X channel, right? And if you do, then my channel will come up. It's a little circle. It says Black Power in this motherfucker. So you guys go over there. Like I said, go ahead and subscribe over to that station so we can have a backup platform. And besides, I'm going to be going live as well on the weekends over there. So somebody said the Brother Ben X effect, right? Right? They don't like you talking. I said the nation. They was like, oh, her ass out of here too. Get her the fuck out of here. She talking about the nation. They was not playing. You two be hating. I swear it must be a Jew that own this shit. I swear it either they gonna cut me off again. I can't. It's key words you're not supposed to say around here, I guess. I ain't learned them yet, y'all. So I want to thank everybody that's coming back over here. They finally sent out a dang notification, so we'll see. But if not, it'll be here for those of y'all that come back later. So welcome to the show again. This is the second part because they kicked me off. But I think they kicked me off at a very fitting point. Like I had finished all of my commentary for that aspect and we was getting ready to get into this one, right? So let's talk about this, you guys. Again, we're going to get into this conversation. If you don't know what's going on, then go ahead and watch the first part, right? And then come on back and watch this part if you're watching this later and you don't know what we're talking about. But we're going to get into the main topic that I wanted to talk about tonight before YouTube started hating. And so I want to talk about this prison reform, right? And I want to talk about the illusion of freedom that we are given all the time, right? Because nothing has changed, right? Slavery back then and slavery today, nothing has changed at all. Nothing at all, okay? Now, we want to talk about the things changing as far as, do we walk around with shackles on? No, right? Are we living on a plantation? No, but there are a lot of brothers and sisters that are living on a plantation. It's called the prison. Right. And so understand that the prison is the new plantation. I tell you all the time, I'm going to keep throwing it out there. There are brothers in New Orleans at prisons that used to be plantations. Right. And they're out there picking cotton right now, today, 2018. Right. About to be 2019. They are picking cotton for 4 fucking cents an hour. OK, so the plantation does still exist. Right. So is the master literally coming and putting a whip on everybody's back and beating them? No, not literally, but figuratively he is, right? So nothing has really changed. And so we continue to think that we get these false illusions of freedom. And that is what happened this evening. So like I said, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I saw it earlier today. And it's a clip of Don Lemon. And there's a brother, he's on there talking to Van Jones or something. I've seen him on plenty of stuff, but I don't watch TV all the time. So I guess he's like, I don't know if he's in criminal justice or what. But basically, he's telling everybody about this new reform. So apparently the Senate's passed justice reform. Now, watch out. It's a lot of things that's going on here, right? So apparently he is giving Trump credit. He's like, you know, for once, everybody was like, Trump's not going to do anything he said he's going to do. He never does anything right, right? So you got this black man now. Somebody said you're loved by many. Oh, thank you, Antoinette. Look, I love y'all too. Thank you for that. So anyway, he's shouting out Trump, right? And he's on there and he's like, you know, Trump actually went hard and did what he was supposed to do. So now we got black folks wanting to, on a platform, say thank you to this white man as if he is the one that implemented something that's going to give us some freedom. So we're going to talk about how bullshit that this criminal justice reform is and why it's just an illusion of freedom. And nothing that really matters is going to goddamn change. So you got this man on there. Thank you for that. Shout out to you. Thank you for that $15. We appreciate it. So he's up here giving Trump all of this credit, you know, and so now he's finally talking good about him when he can't stand a man any other time. So now all of a sudden we got this white man and he's supposedly our savior because he's helped push prison reform. So let's talk about this prison reform, you guys, right? So 87 senators said, yes, we're going to push this shit. Okay. So check it out. Prison reform is this 100%, right, of all the people that are in prison right now will be able to earn their way home to go home earlier for good behavior if they act right and they get education and they get programs. Now I'm talking to my black people. Let's keep it real. Doesn't that already fucking exist? I'm just saying, when you go to prison, unless you are in an 85% state, an 85% state says that if you commit a felony, you have to serve 85% of your time, no matter what. We don't do that good time. You get half for this and that. But only certain states have that, right? Most states say that if you get your GED, if you get all this different education, they give you these levels and it makes you look better. And if you don't get any fights for so long, they give you good time for all of that shit. So we jumping for that? It's more stuff in here, but I'm just gonna break all this down. For people who are getting happy that are black people, like, oh, this is a great thing. This is some shit that already fucking exists. So the only thing that it will do is those 85% states will allow people now not to serve 85%, right? It will allow them to go home maybe at 50% of their time. But we have talked about sentencing guidelines. So the bottom line is black people are being sentenced to too many motherfucking years anyway. Okay, so if you put me in prison for 20 years for selling some drugs, right? I ain't murdered nobody, but you're going to give me 20 years. And then if you tell me that I can go home 50% sooner at halftime because I've been good, right? Because I was good on the plantation, then at the end of the day, and I get to get my ass out and I get to go home, I've still served 10 years. That's still too fucking long for selling drugs. So they give us these long ass sentences. So to say you're just gonna give us good time, what difference does that make? And don't you know that within the goddamn prisons, those corrections officers will fuck with you all the time? We don't act like they're not like the police officers. Corrections officers are worse than police officers. You know why? Because police officers are in the public, right? They have these cameras on. They feel that they're supposed to be held accountable to certain things, even though they're not fucking held accountable to any goddamn thing, right? And so, oh, look, we freezing up in here again. Look, I hope it don't go out, y'all. If it go out on me, I don't know if I'm coming back tonight. Can y'all still hear me? Because sometimes it'll go out, but then the picture will come back in. Can y'all still hear me? Look, as soon as I get to going, they do not want me to talk about this tonight. Can y'all hear me? Because sometimes the screen will freeze, but y'all can hear, and then a couple seconds later it might come back in. So we gonna get to going. Either it's gonna come back in a couple minutes, or either they just gonna kick me the fuck off. That's what happens. If they kick me off, then I might be done for the night. We might have to finish this shit tomorrow. I'll come back and do the second half early in the day before my show, y'all, if that happens, right? Okay, so I'm gonna keep going and see if they unfreeze it or if they kick me off. So we'll see. So anyway, okay, so this thing is already exists. They already give people too many long fucking sentences. You haven't heard anybody ask or anybody say, okay, can we deal with the sentencing guidelines? That's what I would like to see in some fucking prison reform. Can we deal with the fact that y'all sentencing guidelines are far too fucking long, and they are based in the fact that when y'all first started prisons, they were plantations, and you just want black people to spend these long ass sentences on your plantation so that they can be owned by you, right? So sentencing is too long. So when the fuck are we going to do prison reform to change sentencing, right? Those are the things that they need to be looking at. So I'm not jumping for joy because they want to give motherfuckers in prison good time, right? That's something that's always been around. That they didn't give us nothing extra, but you got black people jumping for that shit right now. Okay. So then the next thing that is going to be somebody say, where's part one? It's up there. It's up there. Part one is up there. So then the next thing that they have done, you guys, for this so-called justice reform is that all pregnant women now, right? Shout out to you for that. Thank you for that donation. All pregnant women, when they are giving birth, they will no longer be shackled. Are we jumping for that prison reform? Let me tell you something. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like to me like a parent who hasn't been around raising their child for like 12 years, and then they decide to come and buy their kid a pair of shoes and they want us to praise them. And be like, yo, you bought your kid some shoes. Like, that's what the fuck you're supposed to do, right? Right? That's what you're supposed to do. So at the end of the day, this is my thing. Why do you have pregnant women shackled in the first fucking place? Why? A woman that is getting ready to give birth to a baby and a baby is finna bust out her coochie, do you really think that this woman needs to be shackled anyway? Where's she going? Where's she going? That's some cruel and unusual shit. Shout out to you, Queen Gwendolyn. Thank you for that, right? That's some cruel and unusual punishment bullshit any goddamn way. Who shackles a woman that's giving birth? Because you think she gonna hop up out that bed and run out the hospital with her baby falling out of her vagina, the placenta and everything. Is she really gonna get away? Like, to me, that was some dumb shit for them to implement in the first damn place, right? That was some dumb shit. So I'm not jumping for joy that you won't shackle women while they're giving birth to children. Like, I'm glad you're not doing that anymore. But if this is what you're calling prison reform, it shows just how fucked up the prison system really is, right? So it don't seem like it don't kick me off. So I hate when they freeze the screen. They always got me looking dumb. So I guess I'm gonna just be looking dumb, and we gonna have this conversation any motherfucking way. So long as y'all can hear me, we good. You know, you got half these YouTubers that come up here any damn way and they just show a picture of their face. So that's my picture, y'all, for this show. Y'all just look at my face and y'all just hear me. So anyway, these women are now going to be not shackled, you know, while they're giving birth. Wow. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, 87 senators, for fucking realizing that you some dumb motherfuckers for doing that shit in the first place, right? So that's part of the prison reform. So let's get to the next part of the prison reform, that all juveniles will no longer be held in solitary confinement. Shout out to you, Carl. Thank you for that, King. Thank you, Queen Dorothy. And thank you, Charles. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for that, right? So the next thing is that the juveniles will not be in solitary confinement anymore, okay? So, with this not being in solitary confinement, first of all, that's cruel and unusual punishment. You shouldn't have fucking children in solitary confinement anyway. But if you want to talk about some real prison reform, how about we talk about the fact that we should not try juveniles as adults, fucking period. Can we talk about that? Right? So, first of all, you shouldn't have children in solitary confinement anyway. But let me tell you something. If your child is tried as an adult, as soon as they turn 17 years old, that's still a child, right? Right? So at the end of the day, that is still a child. Okay. So when your child goes over at 17 years old, even though the law will say they're an adult, they're still a child. And guess what? That 17-year-old is going to be in an adult jail, and they're going to be in an adult solitary confinement. When you go to an adult prison, they don't care about that shit. So if you're going to pass some real fucking prison reform, politicians and getting happy for nothing ass black people, let me say this is not real fucking justice, and this is not criminal justice reform. It's not doing anything to help our people. Okay. Now, like I said, these children will still be in adult prisons. These children will still be going into solitary confinement. I want you to think about how this government system will tell you that you can be grown at 18, you can go to prison as an adult at 17 or even younger if they try you, right? But you do know that you cannot drink until you're 21 because of the very fact that you don't have enough reasoning developed. Okay. They don't want you to drink because they know alcohol mixed with somebody who doesn't have a fully developed brain, because your reasoning in your brain is not developed until you're 25 years old. Shout out to you, King Chris. Thank you for that. So at the end of the day, they won't let you drink liquor, but they will let you go to prison like you grown. Right? So I want you to think about, that's 4 years away. So at 17 years old, you're still a minor. And if they try you as an adult, your ass is going to be in solitary confinement if they put your ass in an adult prison. Matter of fact, they put you in an adult jail and you a juvenile. If you're not a tough juvenile, you're probably going to want to be in solitary confinement so that all the people in the prison don't beat your ass, right? Because that happens too. You come in and you the little young punk. So now they want to take your snacks. They want to tell you to get off the phone. They want to come into your cell and just take your motherfucking noodles and ask you what you going to do about it, right? This is what happens to our children. So then they be wanting to get their ass in solitary confinement because they want to get away from the abuse, and then they go in there and go crazy because they about to lose their fucking mind. Try grounding a teenage child to their room with windows and a bed and a real living space for about a week, and they be ready to go crazy. So try locking your child in a cage and see why the fuck that happens, right? So somebody said why your son went to jail, yo. I'm not going to get into why my son went to jail tonight, but I've done plenty of videos on it. I mean, you can go and look at it. It was a lot of components to that, a part of the preschool to prison pipeline and everything else. So, I mean, I've definitely told that story. So I'm sure that you can go back and watch it on some videos. I may talk about it again. I'm sure that I definitely will. I share it all the time because there are plenty of parents that are going through the same thing that I'm going through. So I never mind sharing my story. But tonight, I don't want to get into all of that, to get off the topic. But we can definitely talk about the preschool to prison pipeline and children, you know, going to prison and how all of that plays into the things that they do. So that's good. We can do that another night. I don't know. He may be a troll. I don't care. I mean, he might be in here. You know, everybody want to have them conversations about how Mechee is a felon and Mechee got a kid in jail. I don't give a fuck. All that shit they telling y'all, guess who they heard that shit from? Me. They went and watched my videos. I told all of that shit. So ain't no shame in my game. I'm a real motherfucking person. Shout out to UT. Thank you for that. I'm a real person. right? I'm a real ass person, and I'm not gonna never come before anybody and be fake. I'm just like y'all. So at the end of the day, I ain't got no shame in my game about nothing I motherfucking been through. So, so y'all can keep that bullshit. But so let's check this out though. This is the one thing that's passing, right? Right. This is the one thing that is passing in the Senate the Senate passed this justice reform that I think is a good thing. I mean, to a little bit of extent it is. And the reason why it's a good thing is because there are people who miss their family, and understanding how that feels as a woman who has a son in prison. There are 3,000 people who are getting ready to be released from prison. So that's great. Shout out to them for that. Right. So in being released, what is happening now is that they're saying that people should not have to spend long sentences like they do for drug charges, so that they need to knock them down a little bit. So what they're going to do is what they've never done before. When Obama talked about drug sentences and people not having longer sentences, that was going to take effect afterwards. It wasn't retroactive. So retroactive means where it goes back and it allows, yeah, it's frozen, Gina, but I'm still, they keep fucking with me tonight. So since everybody can hear me, I done started this second half of the video a bunch of times, and it finally let me in. So if y'all can hear me, then y'all just go ahead and look at my face all froze, looking crazy. See, y'all can just pretend that's my picture, like some of these YouTubers, you know how they put up a picture and all you hear is their voice. So that's my picture tonight, y'all. Long as y'all can hear me, we good, right? Because I believe if I go out, they're gonna keep doing the same shit to me. They keep doing it, freezing it or kicking me out. So as long as y'all can hear me, we gonna keep it rolling. So these people that are, the laws are retroactive for them. So what that means is that now all the people that are in prison for drug crimes, all of their stuff, they have served more than enough time, and they're all eligible for release right away. When that was passed in the Obama administration, the thing was that it wasn't retroactive. So it was going to be effective from that point forward. It wasn't going to go backwards and help anybody. So there's about 3,000 people who are in prison for drug charges who have served more than enough time. And so because of this new, justice reform passing, they will be able to go home, because what they are doing now is looking at not giving, longer sentences or too long sentences to nonviolent offenders. And drug sentences are not violent offenses. So they're saying that those people that qualify and have done more than their time, then they're going to let them out. So I'm glad that those 3,000 people are going home. I really am. I think that that's a great thing that has come out of that, as far as that goes, right? But I want to talk about something else, because those 3,000 people are going home. So this is where I really want to talk to everybody about the illusion of freedom, okay? So I want y'all to know that there's a lot of talk around prison reform, around prisons being the new plantation, about them using brothers on the assembly line. Y'all know they was paying them in them California fires, one of the deadliest fires ever. They were taking inmates, right? And they were taking inmates, and they were letting those inmates fight that forest fire. And do you know that they were paying them $1 an hour for that? So they're using all of these black people that were prisoners in the prison period, but majority of them are black people, right? They're using them for all of this work. Assembly lines, that in the prisons they make all kind of shit. They make like straws. They make, all of the cups and shit at the fast food restaurants. They make shit for Walmart. They used to make lingerie for Victoria's Secret. And then when we called them out, then they was like, we backing out. We'll use somebody else. They make shit for Starbucks, I believe it is. It's a long list of people, hundreds of companies. They also make like the vest and the gear and the shields that the fucking police use against us. They make them make that shit, right? Right there in the prisons. So since people are making such a fuss about this day and age, they're like, look, at some point it's going to rile up to this big, this big ass issue. So in order to make it not be a big ass issue, we have to once again shift the illusion and make black people think that they have received something, so that they won't keep pushing at us. So this is the next thing that's coming, y'all. Mark my words. It's actually already here. So what's happening is these 3 people are going to be let out early. But what does that mean? When they get out early, what they going to have to do? They're going to have to spend the rest of their sentence on what? Parole. And what does parole do? Parole charges you fines and fees. So even though you are not on the motherfucking assembly line anymore, and you will not be in there doing work in the prison and them getting free work off your back, which means they're actually what? Making money off your back? Well, they're still going to be making money off of you, because what they're going to do is start shifting all of the people in the prisons to what we call community corrections, right? Community corrections is parole and probation. Okay. And if anybody's ever been on parole or probation, you know that they charge you a monitoring fee in the month. If you have to have P tests, they charge you for that. If you have to fucking wear ankle monitor, they charge you for that. They charge you for everything. And when you get to the end of your parole or your probation, if you have not paid them all the money that you owe them, they will extend your probation more, right? And then now you have more probation or parole. And while you're on that probation and parole, it continues to just add up more fees on top of more fees, because there is a monthly fee for you being monitored by parole, right? Or probation. Okay, so understand, Mr. Bing, we back, but we froze, but at least y'all can hear me. But we back after like 5 tries. And thank you for coming back and chilling and hanging out with us for part 2. So understand that they're just shifting that. And let me tell you another thing. We've been talking about how the prisons are becoming privatized, right? Well, I want you to know that so is probation and parole. Now, I told y'all I have a criminal justice degree, a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. And so when I first moved here, I remember looking through the things. And this is when I found out I was looking through like jobs to see what jobs they have for criminal justice. And so I saw a bunch of jobs for probation and parole. Not that I was going to apply for any of those. But the funnier thing was this that I noticed. All of those companies that were hiring for parole officers and probation officers, they were privatized. It's not no longer being run by the state. So understand, just like the prisons have become privatized, now what they're going to do is they're going to outsource a company that's not the state. They're going to have contracts with them. And just like in the prisons, understand these contracts state that in order to keep them in business, they're going to have to promise to keep so many people on parole or probation to fulfill those contracts. Just like the privatized prisons have contracts. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a lawsuit that one of the prisons was going to do against the state, because they said they had a contract with the state, and the state was supposed to keep their sales field 75% because they had bought and built this prison, and they said this is how many people we need you to hold. So they built that facility, and so now the contract says it's up to the state to fill those prisons. This is no lie if y'all go look it up. So there was one prison that was actually going to, somebody said they remember that, right, Ricky? So they were going to sue because they said that the state wasn't filling their contract. So what that means is you need to go find more criminals to bring them in these cells. See how fucking crazy that shit sounds? Okay. So this is what they did. So the parole and probation industry will be the same thing. So they will have contracts with the state. The state will no longer be doing probation and parole. Right now, there are plenty of privatized companies doing probation and parole as we speak. This is not something they're implementing. It's something that's already there, and they're going to sneak it on you slowly. And so what they're going to begin to do is they're going to tell you that they're going to do this prison reform. They're going to find ways to let people have shorter sentences, let them out of jail, and all of those different things. And all they're going to do is shift them over from prison corrections to community corrections, right? Probation and parole. And that is how they're going to make money off the backs of Black people now. So what they're going to do is constantly keep you caught up in probation and parole fees. And like I told y'all a minute ago, when you get to the end of your probation or parole, if you have not paid all your fees, they're going to continue to keep you on parole, right? I was on probation for 2 years. I did not pay back all the money I owed. They gave me 2 years again, 2 years again, 2 years again. Every time you get those 2 years of probation because you still owe a couple $100s or some thousands of dollars, know that you go into even more debt, because now this next 2 years of probation is still going to cost you. You're going to pay monitoring fees. You're going to pay P-test fees. You're going to pay any kind of fees that they have for you, right? They're going to make you pay that shit. So instead of making you bust your back on the plantation of the prison now for they can make money off of you, they're going to make money off of you by making communities become the prisons now. Everybody's going to be imprisoned, but they're going to be imprisoned within their community. And they're going to owe money to be watched, to be paroled, probation. They're going to be supervised, and they're going to constantly find ways to make you pay. Just like there are plenty of Black people who sit in prison all day long, or in jail all day long, not prison, because they have not been able to pay a bail. You know how many people can get out of jail if they just had $100? $300 to pay their bail. I'm not talking about people who are in prison who their bail is $50,000, $60,000, right? I'm talking about somebody who can't even get out of jail and all they need is $300 and they could go to fuck home. Okay, so I want you to think about all these people that's going to be on probation and parole. Also, in order for you to be on probation and parole, you have to have a stable living area if they're going to put you there. So you have to live with somebody. These people can't have prior records. They can't have guns in the house. They can't have all of this shit. So if you don't have an address to go to, your ass going to stay in the jail anyway. So understand, this is all the illusion of freedom. People are jumping for fucking joy because of this fucking prison criminal justice reform that apparently Trump is supposed to be a good guy now because he helped implement. I'm going to tell y'all straight up, they didn't implement shit. Not shit. It's not a goddamn thing in this goddamn prison reform that makes me feel like y'all done some great shit for any damn body that's black. These things are not going to make any major differences. All these things they're doing, they right in our damn face. I just told y'all, they're going to give less time to people who have nonviolent offenses. So they're going to give you less time in prison. And what that means is more time out on the streets on parole and probation, which means you're going to be giving them money one way or another, whether it's coming off your back and you working for free labor or you're going to come out of your pockets. Okay. And if you have a felony or a crime against you, it's very hard to find a job. So then if you can't find the funds to pay your probation or your parole, it's going to continue to add up and your ass going to continue right back in prison. So it's all one big ass cycle. So just because they seem like they're shoveling people out of the prisons, we're not going to give them as much time. We got to stop putting people in jail for so long. It does not mean that it's over. It does not mean that it's over. They're just shifting you to another form of oppression and enslavement. And if we don't realize and see what it is, we're going to think that we have achieved some shit, y'all. And that is exactly what the fuck happens to us all the time as black people, right? All the time. We always think that we have received something that we have not received because it looked good. We like, yo, they took them shackles off. We don't walk around in chains no more. Yes, the fuck we do. It's the chains that they have put on your mind. They have conditioned us so much. They like, don't put on the chains. The chains is you. The chains is your The chains are your damn It's your mind. It's the TV, right? The TV, the media, the music. All of that shit is your new chains. They're still there, right? Somebody said that they think is okay, so y'all can still hear me. Okay, it seemed like y'all can still hear me because y'all responded. Because somebody said theirs was frozen. That must be yours because everybody, y'all good? Y'all can still hear me? So understand that everything is just being switched into another frame. But at the end of the day, it's still all the same. Okay, let's just put it like this. Oppressing black people in slavery is about nothing more than using us as commodity and disposal, right? So either you are a commodity and they want to find a way to make money off of you. That's all slavery has been from the beginning. Or you are disposable and they will kill you and do away with you, not give a fuck about you, your life, your family, how anybody feels. And so we're one of the two as black people. We're either right. We're about money. They want to make money off our back, or we're expendable to them. Disposal, right? And profit. That's what slavery is ultimately about. That's what it's about. And so that has not changed at all. They are going to continue, even in this prison reform, to make money off of black people's backs when it comes to crimes. And majority of those crimes that are committed by black people are a product of the environment that they have been put in. Ghettos are created, right? This is not by happenstance that all of the kids and the youth and the people that run around in the communities are engaged in a lot of violence. It's not just something that happens that when you wake up, all hoods are this way. Trust me, it is called a scientific experiment. If you go and look up white supremacy, it will tell you that through white supremacy that they use things to attack us. And one of those things is scientific methods. That is psychology right there. So what they did was they fucking put liquor stores on everybody's corner. Why? Because we know that if you put liquor in people's hand and they are poor, so you give them poverty, right? You give them poverty. When people are poor, they stress over certain things. They don't tend to live well. They can't eat the right foods. They can't afford the right nourishment for their body. They tend to have stress. Stress tends to trigger mental illnesses, right? Then you got all of these liquor stores on every corner. And don't get mad at me, but then yes, you also have all these churches on every corner right across the street from the liquor stores. Both of them are set up for a reason. You give them somewhere to go that is false hope. We go to the church every damn Sunday talking about we just need a peace of mind. We go to the altar, we cry, we feel good. We have enough hope inside of us. We have cried enough at the altar that we can make it until Wednesday. Wednesday gives us that next boost that we need so that we can make it until Friday, or we get to the next Sunday. It's just like a bottle of liquor. It takes away your pain for a moment, but it gives you no real answers and solutions, because as soon as you get off that bottle and you ain't drunk no more, or as soon as you get the fuck up off that altar and you take your ass home, guess what? All of your problems are still still waiting for you. You are still living in a ghetto. You are still living in all those issues that cannot be changed because, sisters and brothers, it is not just your household. It is not just your family. It is everybody around you in your community that is going through the same things you are going through. That shit is not by happenstance. That is their plan, and it has been constructed that way. Ghettos are created. We are like rats in a fucking lab. We are not free. We are exactly where they want us to be. And whenever you step out of line and you do not play into the game, you are dispendable. The reason that they kill black people time and time again in our face, they kill our children, they let the police do it, and they let them get away with it because that is their subconscious way of letting you know that you do not fucking step out of line. This is what it is. This is what it's going to be. And either you can get down or you can lay down. This is what this country is saying to us. So they will show you this. Either you will become a commodity or you will be disposal. You fucking choose. But those are the only two options that we will give you. And that's what this system does to black people all the time. We are not free. We are not free. We are not free. And this fucking criminal justice reform that has been passed, they can take this shit and shove it the fuck up all of they pedophile asses that is sitting in them goddamn sessions, all of them fucking politicians that's ready to have a pizza party or a hot dog party. Y'all go look that shit up too, right? They can roll that piece of paper, that fucking justice reform, and stick it up their ass. That's what they can do for me. Because this reform is not doing anything for black people. It is not. When black people jump for joy and we hear about prison reform, these are the things that we need to hear. One, we have stopped trying children as adults. Stop doing that shit point blank, period, because it affects our kids more than anybody else, right? Stop doing that, okay? That's some real prison reform. We're not going to try children as adults because that is cruel and unusual punishment and it is against the fucking Constitution, right? That sounds like real prison reform to me. Real prison reform sounds like this, right? Instead of giving people all this good time, bad time bullshit, why don't you just go back and revisit sentencing guidelines, right? Go revisit sentencing guidelines. Stop giving people 25 years for robbing somebody. If nobody died, give their ass 3 years in prison. This is the thing. If a motherfucker gonna learn their lesson, they gonna learn it in 3 years. It does not take 10, 12 years for somebody to learn their lesson. If they don't learn it in 3, guess what? They'll be back. And then when they come back, they can get more. But y'all gotta stop giving people fucking 20 years off the bat and ain't nobody fucking died. Right? So if you want to talk to me about some real prison reform, let's talk about the fact that sentencing period is far too fucking long. It's far too long. Nobody needs to serve 37 years in prison and nobody died. Now, let's be real. As black people, how many of us know those stories? How many of us have family members with those stories? Yes. Right? They in prison ain't killed nobody, but they gonna charge you with everything. Well, you jaywalked in the street. That's another 3 years. You didn't have your motherfucking shoe tied. That's another 10 years. You didn't have your hair combed. Like, they just fucking come up with every single thing that they can charge you with, and then they won't run that shit together so it's concurrent, right? Where you serve it at the same time. They'll give it to you consecutively, where you have to serve it one after another. And then we look up and we got 7 and 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds that didn't murder no motherfucking body, but they got 36-year sentences. That's the shit that is fucking up the criminal justice system. That's where we need some reform. I didn't hear none of them motherfuckers say none of that shit. So I will tell you, I don't mean to be as white people might say, a negative Nancy in this motherfucker, right? Shout out to you, Chandra. Thank you for that, Queen. I don't mean to be no negative Nancy because people be like, damn, every time we think something good, here you want to come and tell us it ain't what it is. But it's not. And I'm sorry if I have to ruin people's party because maybe there's some black folks who have seen this prison reform and we really think that this is going to do something for our people. Shout out to you, John. Thank you for that, King, right? And so we get happy. Now, all of these people who are about to have relatives who are being released and they're going to go home, over 3,000 people because of drug charges, they're going to be happy that their people are home. But I want them to not be tricked in thinking that, oh, because they sent my son home, my husband home, my family member home, my daughter is finally home, that they're going to get happy and feel like this country is finally changing. Because the truth of the matter is, if they letting your babies go and they sending your family members home, the truth is they held them motherfuckers too long any damn way. I remember when I was 19 and I went to jail, and I was in jail with a young girl who was in there for having 2 pounds of weed. Do you understand me? 2 pounds of fucking weed. They gave her 20 years. 20 years for weed, right? You can't help her because it's been 20 years. Shit. Since my crime, it's been like 22 years. So I'm sure that she has been gotten out of jail. She served all her time. That shit don't go back and help her none. 20 years for weed? When I look around and I live in Colorado and I see nothing but white motherfuckers capitalizing on marijuana. See how when white people do it, it's legal. When black people do it, it's illegal? Do you know how many white people own dispensaries out here? There ain't no black folks that own no goddamn dispensaries. You know who's becoming millionaires and billionaires off the motherfucking weed industry? White people. But you know who went to jail just trying to sell that shit and make $200 so they could put a roof over their head or buy their baby some shoes or get their mama some rent money? Black people. And white folks is living off this shit out here, right? So to me, all of them people that's coming home that was serving them long-ass sentences for going to prison over drug sentences, yeah, be happy your people coming home. But know that they owe you more than that. You know, I tell you, fuck a reparation check. I want reparations and revenge in this bitch. Well, them people who got their family members coming home, I'm sure you're glad, but they owe you way more than that. Because the truth is your family members spent way too much motherfucking time in prison as it is. If somebody has some weed, I don't give a fuck if you was selling some goddamn crack, right? Now, when black people sell crack in the hood, white folks sniff coke. But crack carries a way worse sentence, right? You shouldn't be spending 20 years in jail if you're selling crack. I don't give a fuck if it's crack. You shouldn't be in prison for 20 years for crack. If we're going to start sending people to prison for crack, let's start with the CIA in this motherfucker. Look, I'm talking, they're going to cut my video off. I'm saying them keywords. They're going to be like, get your ass off YouTube. You talking too much, motherfucker. But the CIA, can we start putting them motherfuckers in prisons? Because I can swear that we don't own any planes. I know that we didn't bring that motherfucking dope into our communities. We didn't do that shit, right? Thank you, Michelle. Shout out to you, Queen, twice for the love and for having such a beautiful name. Y'all know my real name is Michelle, right? So shout out to you, Queen, right? So when the fuck the CIA going to jail? When them people going to jail? Because them the people who got rich off of bringing the shit into the, oh yeah, and somebody said meth addicts. Let's not talk about them, right? We got this epidemic and white folks is all strung out on drugs. These motherfuckers get rehab and everything else. Our people and our babies get 20 years in prison, right? Let white folks get strung out on drugs. Oh, we need some help. We need some clinics. Like, fuck out of here. Send their asses to prison for 20 years too. Take their babies away from them. When they get out of prison, let their kids be grown and not have had no relationship with their parent whatsoever. They 20, 30 years old. They done had kids. Their parents done missed it all. Send white folks to prison like that and let them fucking experience what black folks have, right? So that's the only reason people doing all this time. What's the difference between that crack and coke? What's the difference? Some fucking shit you cook it on the stove with, some goddamn baking soda. That's the difference. And baking soda make us go to jail? Even longer sentences? Shit. Black folks should have just sold that shit as coke. God damn it. Y'all should have went and sold it to the motherfucking white folks. Right? They would have gave your ass 40 years because you can't be poisoning white people. They only like to poison black folks around this motherfucker. So they can miss me with this prison reform, y'all. It's not doing anything for us. Be mindful of it. They haven't said anything real that's going to change anything for real people. So let's not jump for joy because that's called propaganda. They're going to have people on the news and these folks are going to be telling you this is a great thing. And the craziest thing is, Red said, I hear you, but your face froze. I know, Red. It's froze, and we just going to leave it like that because y'all can hear me because they've been kicking me off all night. So since they letting me talk, we just going to roll with it, right? I could go out and come back in, but then they probably going to kick me off again. So long as y'all can hear me, shout out to you, Shonda. Thank you for that, Queen. Long as y'all can hear me, I told everybody we gonna pretend. You know how YouTubers have their little picture up there and you just hear their voice. They don't like to show their face and shit. So that's my picture for the night. Y'all just gotta hear me. Y'all gotta feel me through this voice, right? Y'all can't see my face today, but it's all right. look, face froze. I look crazy as fuck, but we still got 893 people in here. Shout out to y'all for tuning in to get this knowledge, right? But y'all gonna see black people, you guys, on TV. They're going to use black faces so that we will be happy about it and feel that we have gotten some type of a victory, right? So it's not going to be white people. It's going to be black people, and they're already giving credit to Trump like he's done something so great. They ain't done shit. So just recognize what it is, right? Real recognize real. Y'all ever heard that? We say that in the streets. Real recognize real in this motherfucker. All right. Thank you, Shonda. Look, she said Denver loves you. That's what's up. You in Denver? She said Denver loves me. I know I had to apologize to Denver. I know I kept saying y'all was whack out here. Her brother hit me up and was like, I'm from Denver. Quit saying we whack. We not like everybody else. You just hanging with the wrong folks. So I had to take that shit back. Shout out to Denver. Right. I live out here. I love the hell out of y'all. Y'all show up. Y'all do. Y'all show me so much love. It's crazy. I can't even go nowhere. I go into the dispensary. I go all kind of places. And here come folks from Denver like, ain't you Mechee X? Y'all see me in the store. Y'all see me places out here. And y'all be showing me the most love. So shout out to Denver. I love the hell out of y'all. So just be mindful of this, you guys. They're not giving us freedom. They're just shifting it, okay? So y'all mark my words, and y'all look at how they start shifting everybody from the prisons, and they're going to want you to think, because we're emptying out the prisons and we're not locking up as many people, that you guys, you know, y'all, we've made some type of a leeway, you know, but all they're doing is shifting them to community corrections. Shout out to you, Queen Tiffany. Thank you for that, Queen. So be mindful of that. There's going to be a whole lot of people on ankle monitors and probation and parole, but know that that's privatized too. That's not coming. That's already here. But note that this government is a motherfucker. They started privatizing probation and parole. They haven't really announced that to anybody, right? Around the same time they were doing the prisons, but they haven't let you know that because they don't want you to know that's a part of the agenda, right? They don't want you to know that. So they were privatizing these things as well. So know that your probation and your parole departments are privatized. They are no longer run by the states anymore. So they're just right. It's a bait and switch, right? They just finna take away prison corrections for community corrections in this motherfucker. But it's still all corrections. People are still going to be paying money. It's about the money. It's about the dollar off of black people's back. That's why we can't never get nowhere, because the rich get rich while the poor get poor. And that a perfect example of that, right? A perfect example. What? Shonda, I love the hell out of you, girl. Look, I know we talking about something else. She said she took my advice and she bought some properties in Detroit. I love you for that, because you out there helping my city get it together, and buying some properties out there. And I know that's right. I love it when y'all come forward and y'all take this knowledge and y'all use it in y'all life. Like that's what I want it to be. I just don't want to be nobody up here talking. So shout out to you, y'all. Come on, y'all. Throw some hearts up there. Show Shonda some love. She out here doing the damn thing. She ain't just listening and saying that's good and going home. She actually putting in some work. And shout out to you if you from Detroit. A lot of Detroit folks watch us. Like, shout out to her. Show her some love, because she is out there helping to invest in our community so that these properties stay in black people's hands and that is not gentrified like they're out there trying to do right now in Detroit. So shout out to you for that. Shout out to you for all the donations and stuff tonight. We love you, Queen. That's right. Give us some hearts. We a family up in here. Y'all better show some love. Y'all better show some love to her up in here. So with that said, you guys, I just want us to be mindful of that. I am going to get ready to get the hell up out of here, because I just got a notification on my phone and somebody is having a conversation right now, a live panel, talking about the issue between me and Paris Milan. I didn't know it was a motherfucking issue. I know that little chick keep making videos and then deleting them and shit. I ain't got time for these little ass kids. I got a bunch of people upstairs that act like that little girl. She a fucking little girl. I'm a grown ass woman. But I damn sure want to hear what these folks got to say. And my time is up. So part 2 is done. But I will be back here tomorrow. Let me remind everybody that I'm here Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. But I am going to start doing weekend shows on my YouTube page. Just because we need to have these backup platforms, you guys. Because you never know if they're going to come in and shut us down. Then what would happen if y'all didn't know where to find Mechee, right? I would be sad about that. I would want to know where my folks is. So y'all go over to Mechee X. People said that they tried to find it and they couldn't. So if you put in Mechee X, all my videos on YouTube are going to come up for all the different channels that it's on. But if you put in Mechee X channel in the search, then my channel will come up. It's a little black, red, and green circle, and it says Black Power in this motherfucker. So I will be over there going live this weekend to do some videos. So if you guys want to catch me on the weekends, that's where you can catch me at. So y'all go over there and subscribe to that. If this is your first time here, I would like you guys to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Shout out to you, Freddie. Thank you. Shout out to you for that. Hit the subscribe button for me, please, you guys, and give us them thumbs up. Share this video on your platforms, and don't forget to text the word Queens to 31996 so that when YouTube doesn't send out notifications, then we can send you a text to stay in touch with you, let you know we're live. Also go over to flynubianqueen.com on the platform, put in your name, your email address, you guys, so that we can also stay directly connected that way. So we have a way to let you know what's going on, because I trust and believe we are on borrowed time on these white people's platforms. They are not going to let us sit around talking like this for a whole lot longer. So y'all make sure y'all go do all of those things. Don't forget, we have our Black Media Matter coffee mugs in. We have Fly Nubian Queen t-shirts. We also have Miss Me With That Bullshit t-shirts in honor of me. And we have Somebody Talk Black to Me t-shirts in honor of Queen Vicky. So you guys go over to shopfnq.com, and that link will take you right to our store. Thank you, Kenya, for putting that in there. And you guys go over there and shop black. Buy yourself something. We thank you for all the donations, but we believe in reciprocity here. So as you give, we want to give something back, right? And so I know that you give because you feel that the commentary is blessing you and it is giving to you. But, we would like you to have something tangible too. So, if you want to give something, go over and buy yourself something, buy a family member a gift, and we greatly appreciate it. And then that way you get something that you can bring home for yourself, right? Somebody said they couldn't find the channel. It's there. Put in Put in Mechee X. Make sure you're spelling it right. Mecheex. Put in Mechee X, and then put in Mechee X channel. Right? If you just put in my name, everything's going to come up but my channel, because I have a ton of videos all over YouTube. People take my videos, put them on other pages. So you have to put in Mechee X. And that went by really quick. Shout out to you for that donation. Thank you, Robert. I didn't get to see your name. Let me go back. Ant06 free. That's what's up. Thank you, new subscriber. Shout out to you. Thank you for subscribing tonight. Thank you for that donation. So yeah, somebody good. They said they found it. So you have to put in Mechee X and put in channel. Say that you're searching for Mechee X's channel, and then my channel will come up. Again, it say Black Power in this motherfucker. It's red, black, and green. Last time I checked, I had like 30 subscribers, so I don't know where it's at now, because I don't have any content there, but I will be going live from there this weekend. And I think that's about it, you guys. I love the hell out of y'all. Thank you for coming back and rocking with me, with my little crazy frozen face on the screen and shit, but we still got some knowledge in tonight. So, I want to thank y'all for coming back over with all of the problems we were having tonight with YouTube. Y'all was rocking with me the whole way through, though. So shout out to y'all for that. I want y'all to have a really great evening. Know that I love y'all to life. I stand with y'all until death. We got to get this knowledge on, then we can go motherfucking get free. With that said, y'all be good to one another. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Love on yourselves. Love on each other. Know that I love y'all. Stay black. Stay strong. Stay the fuck away from police so you can stay alive and make it here tomorrow. Meet me here same time, same place, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And until then, y'all have a wonderful evening. I love y'all, my beautiful black people.